Okay, and we are live. Welcome back to the channel. So a big day for Manchester United, lots of interesting developments, a lot of things that we do want to go through on tonight's show. So thank you very much for joining in with us. I can see Dan down there in the comments. So on this show, we're going to look at the latest on the Rasmus Hojlund transfer. We're going to look at the conflicting reports between Sofyan Amrabat. Is he coming? Is he going? How advanced is the deal? We are going to reveal all on tonight's show. And as well as that, we're going to have some reaction to, of course, Manchester United's 2-0 loss last night to Real Madrid. The debut of Onana. I was impressed last night. I can't lie. I watched some of the match before bed. I was really impressed with what I saw. So let's get into it, and let's get into the news. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the main man and the guy who looks most likely to be coming in. It's going to be Rasmus Hojlund, and as you guys know, and as Stephen has just said in the comments, we need a number 9. That's what we need, guys. We really need to buy ourselves a striker, and it has to be Rasmus Hojlund at this stage. There's no other way for this to end up. It is going to be Rasmus Hojlund. Ashid, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining in with us. So let's get talking on, of course, Rasmus Hojlund and where do we currently sit with the transfer. So today's been an interesting day. There's been good things, there's been bad things. Some people might be worried, but I'm here to put some people's mind at ease if they do need that indeed. So we're going to get talking Hojlund. So PSG, they have agreed personal terms with Hojlund's agent. They've agreed a fee. For agency stuff, for wages and stuff. The big determining factor, and the thing that I want to point out to you guys, first and foremost, the most important thing, is Rasmus Hojlund has chosen to play for Manchester United. Everybody knows that, and even PSG have admitted themselves that so long as Manchester United agree a fee with Atalanta, Hojlund will be a Manchester United player, and United are feeling really, really confident on this one. Hojlund is feeling confident. So coming in first and foremost on the main man, Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United have scheduled an additional round of talks this week for Atalanta. United remain favourites with an Old Trafford move, the player's priority. So he wants to come here. I can't lie, guys. Whenever I see a player desperate to come to Manchester United, I cannot help but get excited. I cannot help but feel that they need to be here. And that's the most important thing. And look, it's something Ten Hag has done throughout his time as Manchester United manager. The players we've brought in, they have all wanted to play for Manchester United. They have picked Manchester United over other clubs. They have picked United over a lot of different teams as well. Bodie, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining in. Big ups to yourself as well. And big ups to everybody else in the chat as well. Up to 16 likes, guys. Drop a like on the video. As Dan said, let's get to 50 likes on the video. So this is coming in from Fabrizio. Look, this is confirmation of a report that we had last week from Alfredo Padilla, from Sky Sports, from Ornstein. Everybody has said that the priority for Rasmus Hojlund is to join Manchester United. So even if PSG come in with a higher wage offer, which they probably have, he wants to come here. He wants to come and play for Ten Hag. He wants to come play for Manchester United. Kerwin, good to see you, man. I hope all is good. And Andre as well. Good to see you as well, man. Go United as well. Big ups, man. So yeah, look, I'm feeling really confident on this one. So this is coming in from RMC. Now, RMC, for anybody who doesn't know, this is a PSG mouthpiece. This is a news outlet who will get good information from PSG and from French clubs, but they do have a lot of internal bias. And this is coming in from one of their reporters. Nev said that Manchester United agree a fee with Atalanta. Hojlund will sign for United. PSG remain hopeful that United will not succeed in their efforts to sign him. Here's the thing that I will say to you guys, and the key thing is they've put basically a take it or leave it bid down for Hojlund. It's 50 million euros. United's first offer, which probably has been rejected, was 60. So we already have outbid them. They're saying they're not going to put any more bids in. The player wants to come to us. So this will be a Manchester United player. I have no doubt in my mind about it. And you guys can take it to the bank. We can cut it up. We can clip it up. I think Hojlund will be a United player. Just depends when, guys. Nick says, Scandi players love the Premier League. Yeah, they really do, man. Honestly, they do. Dan is saying Martinez is a walking animal. He makes you laugh. He literally would kill to win. Yeah, and look, we need that. We need guys like that. And every team needs some crazy guys at the back. They really do. And look, Lisandro Martinez, he is a hard guy. He loves to tackle. He's a brilliant player as well. And Greg is saying the first goal in the early hours of this morning was offside. You could see in the game how much we needed a striker. Yeah, look, I'm not too concerned. Look, United lost 2-0 for Real Madrid. They're a better team than us anyway. We didn't need to have a friendly match to tell ourselves that. They outran us in midfield because we went Christian Eriksen against Bellingham, Camavinga, Modric, and Jimeni. The legs just weren't there. Look, they were the better team, but make no mistake about it. They scored a goal that was offside, and they scored a bicycle kick. Like, one goal's offside, one goal is just out of this world. So I'm not overly stressed. I think United made a good account of themselves, but that number 9 is so key because we made a lot of opportunities last night. A striker buries at least one of them, in my opinion. Rajat, good to see you, man. And Andre is saying, thanks to Mbappe's shenanigans, we got Højlund to choose United. His boyhood club, no brainer, he chose United. Absolutely, man. I'm feeling really good on this. And look, if you are a young player coming through, PSG is not the place to go. We've seen this with a lot of young players there. Kingsley Coman was one of the first. We have Xavi Simons, who left, went to PSV, smashed it up, and now he's gone back to PSG, and that's not going to work out well for him. I guarantee it already. So, look, we're going to get there. I think United's going to sign this guy. I really do. So, coming in first and foremost, David Ornstein. PSG think Atalanta's valuation is unrealistic and are ready to walk away if their bid is not accepted. They're going to walk away then because their bid will not be accepted because it's 10 million less than what United have offered in the first place. So, I don't know, guys. I really struggle to see how PSG think they're getting Højlund in this scenario. I just don't see it happening for them. And look, this is something that's come out across the board. I want to give one more thing in about Rasmus Hojlund as well. So, this is coming in from Chris Wheeler. So, Manchester United are confident in Ten Hag's ability to improve Hojlund, and this is something I've been saying for a very long time, guys. He's a project. He is a project. And look, Rajat's right. Hojlund might not help too much. He might take 3 months to adjust, but there is a player in there who has all the attributes, everything needed to succeed at Manchester United. And the goals he scored last year, now they get banded about. People look and say, oh, he only scored 9 league goals last year. Rasmus Hojlund did not play a full 90 minutes for Atalanta until January. So his goal to minute ratio is really good. His goals to XG is really good. His potential is really good. So with the right manager in Ten Hag, we got a real good player coming in here. Hot Fuzz says, big man ting. It is a big man thing. If we go up against PSG and we get the player, that is the sign that United are going in the right direction, because for many years now, no player would have chose United over PSG. They just wouldn't, because United was badly run, no real leadership, poor management, poor players. United, all of a sudden, we are an exciting prospect once again, and people want to come play for us, and I think that's one of the biggest things, guys. Andrew says, watching the game in pre-seasons, we are missing the striker to finish the jigsaw. United has improved a lot with the ball and retention, but half turns and facing their back to goal, we are short. Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more, and it is something I want to talk about. So I'm asking you guys on the poll tonight, first and foremost, were you guys impressed with André Onana? Because last night, this kind of comes out like people were trying to have a go at Onana. Some people were saying he wasn't that good. I don't know. I really don't know what those guys are smoking, because I thought Onana was really good last night. Getting on the ball, the passing, the sweeping. Some of his saves were excellent. Couldn't do anything about the goals either. First one offside, and it was a problem with the centre-back. Centre-back's pushed up. Bellingham got all the space. Onana came out to try close. It was a fluke goal. Second one's an overhead kick. I mean, United's defence once again went to sleep. So I'm not blaming Onana for either of those goals. I think his shot stopping was good. I think his distribution, absolutely fantastic. And you can really see bits of this Erik Ten Hag philosophy, bits of Ten Hag's beliefs in football really going into this team. The playing out from the back is so much better. The first phase is so much better. What we could have done last night that would have helped was a bit more penetration. I do feel like when we play Bruno on the right and Rashford through the middle, we have two of our best players in the attacking sense playing out of position for players coming in who are not as effective. So I think you keep your best players in their position and you fit the rest of the team around them. That's my personal belief. Let me see. Ashid says, after the Højlund deal, the Amrabat deal hopefully will be done more quickly. Yes, I will say that, and that's something I want to talk about. Last night really stressed the urgency of signing Sofyan Amrabat, because once Kobe Mane went off, we had no physicality, we had no running, there was no athleticism in that midfield whatsoever. Now, Mount got up and down the pitch, but Christian Eriksen, he just does not have the engine. And look, there's a time, there's a place for Eriksen. He will be very good against teams who come and sit back and park the bus against United when he can. Very little running to do whenever he's asked to pick the ball up. But at the moment in this team, he does look a little bit like what Juan Mata did, where he looks a little bit just get on the ball, brilliant, off the ball, not so much. And that's a big thing for me. Andrew says Onana, breath of fresh air. He was letting the game roll, unlike our other keepers slow in the game. First game did well. Big up Onana. Yeah, absolutely. Irfan says, I didn't watch. It's not live. No Canal Plus membership. No, I watched a little bit of it, but yeah, I mean, I had work today as well, like, so I didn't watch the whole match. But I was impressed. I watched the first half. I thought Onana looked really good. So, look, I'm feeling positive about Onana. I'm feeling positive about United, and I'm feeling really positive about Rasmus Hojlund. So, look, I've seen who was it who mentioned Amrabat down there? There are updates on Sofyan Amrabat. So first and foremost, Manchester United are very keen on signing Sofyan Amrabat. We know this already. We've agreed wages with him. We've agreed a contract. He wants to come to Manchester United, and that's a really good thing. There's a lot of clubs interested. Bayern Munich would like him. Barcelona would like him. He's already turned down Liverpool. So that guy really is going to be good for us. Really cannot wait to see Sofyan Amrabat play for United. And the athleticism, the work rate, the tenacity that he brings would be so, so good. Especially last night. Would have been a massive upgrade on Christian Eriksen. Look, in terms of Amrabat, you know, he has one of the most tackles, one of the most interceptions, ground duels in Serie A. Really, really high volume in that sense. Had the most progressive passes, most progressive carries. That's what we kind of want for a guy to be sitting beside Casemiro. We don't want to sitting holding midfielders. We want a guy who's going to get up and down the pitch. And Amrabat certainly is that. And I think he's going to add a lot to this team. And look, there are conflicting reports, so we want to go through this. So first and foremost, the Italian sources are saying that Manchester United have basically signed Sofyan Amrabat. Now, the English sources, the Ornsteins, the Romanos, they're coming out on the contrary, and they're saying that yes, United want to sign him, but no, the deal is not as close as what it is being made out to be for several reasons. First and foremost, we're going for Rasmus Hojlund first. Let me see. Mitaban is saying we need Rasmus Hojlund. Yes, absolutely. Rajat says Amrabat necessary to sign. I completely agree. We really need to sign Sofyan Amrabat. Will be so good in this team. I really truthfully believe it. Musi says United will be slow in the Rasmus deal and he will wait and end up in PSG. Look, it could happen. We can't discount it, but United at the moment we have put in an offer which is higher than PSG's. We are willing to raise the offer. He wants to come to United over PSG, and PSG will not raise their offer. So unless United completely walk away from the negotiation table, I don't think he goes to PSG. I really don't. Sancho playing false nines, not his possession, but he was turning with the ball and doing half turns and full turns. He lost the ball at times and was playing close to him and bounced off passes. No one. Yeah, the lack of options has been noticeable. Really, I think a centre forward comes in and really helps with that. And look, Real Madrid's an elite level team. You're going up against Antonio Rudiger. You're going up against David Alaba, two amazing centre backs. If you're playing false nine, if you're Marcus Rashford, that's going to be a difficult game for you. It really is. And where I think we lost last night's match certainly is in the midfield. We just didn't have the engine, the athleticism in there to deal with Tchouaméni, to deal with Bellingham, Camavinga coming in from the left back position, and Modric in there basically had a free run as well. So United really struggled in that midfield, and it's something I don't want to see, and that's why I think Sofyan Amrabat is absolutely key. Let me see. Rajat says he definitely won't be here to United. I think that's on Amrabat. Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. Let me just check as well, guys. So what we want to get talking about now is players going out. So this is something I know you guys are really looking forward to. So we're first and foremost going to go with Scott McTominay. So Scott McTominay apparently is the #1 choice for West Ham for that Declan Rice replacement. Someone to come in to play in that defensive midfield role. I think that's a really good deal. I really hope Moyes gets him because he's going to go for a lot of money. I've been saying it all summer long. If we sell McTominay, that's probably the most amount of money we get for a single player. And apparently they're willing to entertain offers of around 30 to 35 million. United might want to get upwards of 40 million pounds. Let's see what happens on that one. But I think there's a really, really top level chance of Scott McTominay leaving Manchester United. And he's just not going to play. If he comes in, if he stays, and we bring in Amrabat, and we have Kobe Mainoo back from whatever this injury is, I would comfortably say McTominay is probably going to be fourth choice over Mainoo, over Amrabat, and over Casemiro. I just don't think he's going to play. Andre is saying we need to work hard and work with the 9 and 10 positions. We're short in that attacking department to me, and we need a 9 linking up with the midfield. We will look good. Yeah, look, I just think we need the tip of the spear. I feel like we've got a very, very strong base. We have a very strong midfield when it's put in the correct position. I think the players are there. I just don't think they were organised in the right way. I would have had Mount on the right last night. I would have had Bruno in the midfield because we missed that creativity. Big T saying Onana lost us the match, getting chipped because of poor positioning and getting big by a bicycle kick because he collected the cross. Obviously, no goals did not help either. Yeah, I mean, look, I've seen the argument, man. I just don't buy it. I mean, I think first and foremost, the first goal wasn't his fault because he was off his line, but that's his position. That's where he's meant to be. The ball was quite, it looked offside from every replay and every angle I've seen. It looked to be offside. Daniel saying, with the super chat, big ups, man. So sad about the Mainoo injury. Yeah, man, look, I really hope that it's nothing serious. Like, I seriously, seriously do, because that kid is going places. He really is going to be something else. He really is going to be good. But just going back to that one on Onana, look, the second one, I mean, he was completely unmarked at the back post. It isn't Onana's fault. There was Maguire and Lindelof nowhere to be seen. United's defence went home after the 80th minute. So it is one of those things you can point the finger at a lot of people. That match is won and lost in the midfield, in my opinion. I'm not too stressed. Kerwin is saying Madrid were just a lot better technically on the ball. The way Madrid played through our front line generally broke the lines with ease. Yeah, they really did. And that's the athleticism. That's the ability of Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Modric. That is proper elite level midfield depth and quality, and they really did make it count last night. Andrew says, I noticed that the EPL channel is broadcasting other EPL friendlies in USA, and they were live with the Villa game and Fulham games. Are you guys seeing those games? I've seen bits of them, man. I've seen that they've been on like Twitter and stuff. I know United's exclusive with MUTV. Maybe not all teams have their own exclusive broadcasters. I don't know. But yes, guys, so Scott McTominay looks like he could be a player going to West Ham. Another player maybe going to West Ham is Harry Maguire. So, according to Sky Sports, West Ham are remaining in talks with Manchester United to sign Harry Maguire. I really hope this happens. Like, I really, really do, guys, because I don't see a way back from him, and I don't think he was bad last night. I think he actually played quite good last night, but I think it's time for him to go. Rosat says Bellingham too hard to deal with. His dribbling and the ball. Yeah, it's the size of him, it's the physicality that adds up as well. He really is so good technically, so strong physically. The guy is just incredible. Big T saying, offside or not, he got chipped. Name me the last time De Gea got chipped. De Gea would have threw a leg at the bicycle kick. Just, I don't know, man. I really don't think so. I don't know. Dan is saying Sky are teamed up with them to show games over here. Yeah. Let's hope for that one. And Daniel says, you can see the Yuri Tillman's body cam when he came on against Newcastle. Yeah, I saw that, and that's really interesting. I think that probably dispelled a lot of belief that even when players aren't on the ball, that they are running, they are always having to look around for space. It really was a fascinating insight. And look, I've seen the David Raya one from the Brentford match. That's another one. I've seen the referee ones. I really like it as well. Nick Knock says Maguire, McTominay, double deal. They want Ward Price too. Yeah, look, they do want Ward Price. Make no mistake about it. And they want Conor Gallagher. But I'm praying that West Ham go and they go and buy themselves Maguire and McTominay. Better for United. And look, at the end of the day as well, we have to consider the fact it's unlikely that Southampton will sell Ward Price. They're very, very they've really planned for relegation. They've managed to put in a lot of clauses into those contracts. Basically means the wages are cut down to a much more affordable level for the championship. They could hold on to Ward Price. They don't have to accept any bids. So We'll see what happens there. I don't think Chelsea's going to sell Conor Gallagher either. I just don't think he's going to be the player they need. Look, if West Ham go out with Souček and they go out with Conor Gallagher as a midfield two next season, they're going to get overrun every single match. There's no discipline there. Antonio says, didn't see the game. How was Onana? I was impressed with him. His shot stopping was good. The passing out from the back, absolutely fantastic compared to what it was before. And it's really helping us get up and down the pitch so much better. Andrew says, I hope Maguire goes. He was the odd one out, but it was a trick question. Pick the odd player. Bruno Casemiro or Maguire. Yeah. And Nick Knack says that is the Rice money spunked. Yeah, look, that's the thing with West Ham, and I've been saying it for a while. Those guys are really going to find themselves in difficulty in this transfer window. First and foremost, they've just got £105 million. Everybody is going to charge them a lot of money to try sell them their players. United wouldn't hope for 40 million for Scott McTominay from anybody else. Chelsea wouldn't be looking for 50 million for Conor Gallagher from anyone else. It's because West Ham have the money and they need to buy a player. So they have to pay it to someone. That's what they have to do. Rajat says Champions League winning team versus UEFA Europa League team. Yeah, look, there's elements of that. I really think losing Manu early in that match just led to complete devastation, because whilst we could have lost that match with Manu on the pitch, at least we had the physicality, at least we had the athleticism in there. Eriksen came on, he really was exposed. He was just completely dominated in every sense of the word. And look, United just couldn't play through them. That's the top and bottom of it as well. It took us 35 minutes to get in behind their backline. So look, Madrid's a good team. They're Champions League semi-finalists last year for a reason. They were close in La Liga as well. Had still a good season for Madrid. The year before, they won the Champions League. You know, these guys are the elite of football. And yeah, look, United's not at that level yet, but it's like I said at the start of the show. We don't need to be beat by Real Madrid in a friendly match to know that we're not as good as Real Madrid yet. We know this already because we're realistic. Big T says, are we really conceding 2 and losing okay because the keeper can pass? I mean, man, it's not that, like, it was not Onana's fault that we lost that match. It was more the fault that there was a dodgy offside call at the start. There was more the fault that United couldn't make the opportunities. We didn't take the opportunities when we got them. We got overrun in midfield. We would have lost that match regardless. De Gea would not have made a difference last night. Put it that way. We don't win that match if De Gea's on the pitch. So, look, when you lose midfield, you lose control of the game. If you can't control the game, you're going to be caught out. And whenever they have Vinicius Jr. up front, running at our backline, running in behind us, that's going to get us caught out. So that's just my thoughts. Dan's right. Look, Madrid's midfield is just insane. And yeah, Madrid are a pretty decent team. So look, it's one of them things. It's like if City finished above us in the league next year, that's not because United have played bad. It's just because we're not at that level as well. That is perfectly every bit as valid. So look, if we had a striker last night, we might have scored. If we took the chances when they came, we might have scored. But we didn't make enough chances. We didn't stop them countering on us, and that's what Real Madrid do. You know, they don't score a lot of goals. They're a team who get a goal early doors, they sit back and they hit you on the counter-attack. It's one of the best things they do because they have the speed, they have the technical ability for it, and they've been doing this for years upon years. So I don't know, I'm really thinking that United, yeah, look, we were outclassed last night. Better team won. Better team, better quality, and that's why they won that match. That's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. So, look, we're going to go back onto the news section as well here because there was something I wanted to go through as well. Let me just load this. So Fred is a player who could be leaving Manchester United. Galatasary have come back in. Now, apparently some of their board of directors have flew to England. Whether or not that's actually going to be true, I don't know, because it's not coming in from sources that I would really go out and say, yes, we can believe these stonewall. But what we can say is Manchester United have stepped up, set the steps to sell Fred to fund a move for Amrabat. United are actively encouraging talks with Galatasary for Fred, who wants him, and Fulham also retain an interest, but not at the price that Manchester United want for Fred. So, look, I think Fred's going to be a player that goes. Whether it's the right move or not, I don't know. Like, I would sell McTominay over Fred. If we sell both, that's really good for me because that's going to be two players out that we need to improve on. And look, if we're going from McTominay and Fred to Amrabat and Manu behind Casemiro, that's a lot better for me. Luman, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining in. Real Madrid got a long way to go, guys. They were outplayed in the second half and they caught us with a counter and scored the other. Other than that, they didn't impress me. They battled to score like a top four against Liverpool. Yeah, look, yes and no. It's one of them things. Madrid don't need to score a lot of goals because they don't concede a lot of goals. That's kind of some of the Ancelotti way of playing as well. That's what they've been doing for a long time. So look, Madrid were the better team. They're a better team than Manchester United. I can hold my hand up and say that because it's true. I'm not going to sit and tell us that we're better than Real Madrid at the moment because we're just not at that level yet. But we will get there. We will be able to go out and beat these teams. Hopefully this season, I really do. Rosat thinks that Fred is going to go to Galatasaray. I think so as well. I think Fulham are unwilling to meet United's valuation. I hope we get him sold to Galatasaray, hopefully for a good bit of money, hopefully for over 10 million, because all this talk of Galatasaray offering 7-8 million pounds, that's not enough. Fred is still a very good player. He would go to most Premier League teams and start. So I think we should be looking for closer to 15 million pounds all in for Fred. I hope that we get him, and I hope that we get him sold. It's something that United have needed to do for a while. And look, we have another one coming in as well. So this is on the Elanga one. So as we know, completed a medical. He has signed for Nottingham Forest. But the thing is as well, guys, we have a better insight as to what those the add-ons were, and that's something that we were missing out for a long time. We knew it was going to be 15 million fee, but now we have the add-ons as well, so it will go up to 20 million pounds hopefully. So that could be a nice bit of money into United's transfer kitty, and that's really going to help us. That is a good deal, no matter how we look at it. Getting 20 million pounds potentially for a player who hasn't scored a goal all of last season. His last goal was February 2022. That's really, really good deal in my opinion. Yes, guys, smash the like button as well. We're up to 27 likes as well. And Andrew says, how's Manu's progress? Is the injury serious? I don't know. We haven't had much clarification on that. The only thing that we can say for definitive fact is we saw him leave the stadium last night on crutches with a boot on his foot. So we're going to find out. I mean, I'm seeing people talking about ligament damage. I'm seeing people talking about metatarsals. I don't know. I'm not a medical expert. I would never claim to be one. And it's one of them things. You just have to wait and find out how it goes. We thought Amad Diallo had a really bad injury against Arsenal, but he is back and he's back in training. So hopefully it's not going to be too serious. Rosat says, let's go for Cancelo. Yeah, look, I think that's an interesting one. Something I did notice watching last night's match. I feel like Wan-Bissaka was good in possession. I feel like his passing was good, but the lack of cutting edge his attacking play, it's still telling. And I don't think it gets too much better with Zillow either. I don't think Zillow is perfect in any sense of the word. So the arguments for signing a right back maybe next season, I feel like they're growing week on week at Manchester United, and I really hope that we do upgrade that area. Camavinga was crazy good, and Chiellini class as well. Yeah, look, they're just good players, man. They really are top level players. Really good, really physical, really strong players. And they absolutely dominated that midfield throughout most of that first half. They really did. And that's sort of what United need to get to. I feel like there's a lack of physicality in that midfield. I feel like Amrabat was a long way to solving that. You know, we got a tenacious guy there with a fantastic engine on him. Really good ball carrier, really good forward passes. Plays some sideways passes as well to keep hold of possession, set the tempo. He will come in and make that team a lot stronger. But when we go with Casemiro, who doesn't have the legs to keep up with Bellingham, Camavinga, Chiellini, all by himself. And then we have Christian Eriksen, who doesn't have the legs to keep up with those players. We were always going to get overrun. I would have liked to have seen Mount, Casemiro, and Bruno once we saw Kobbie Mainoo go off. Maybe that could have been the call. Maybe that should have been the call. But look, it's easy to say those things after the match. It always is. But we're going to find out what way it's going to go down as well. Dan says, shows the need for Amrabat and Casemiro, big away games and Champions League. Yeah, look, it does. If United can go and set up and be much more difficult to play through in the middle of that pitch, it's going to make a massive, massive difference to how we play. And we said this last season. We watched it a lot with Eriksen in the big matches against the top opposition, where he has to do all the backtracking, where he has to do the running. I just don't think he's got the engine for it. And it's not his fault. He wasn't signed to be a box-to-box midfielder. He never has been a box-to-box midfielder. I just hope that United can get Amrabat in. And look, make no mistake about it, I can tell you guys this. Amrabat wants to come. Every report is saying that Amrabat wants to come. He has agreed terms with Manchester United. It's just getting that fee over the line with Fiorentina. Now, according to the English sources, now this is where we need to be careful, because it's very easy to jump into the hype and stuff around the transfer. Really easy to do that. I do it all the time myself. But fundamentally, when we come down to this, there is a conflict in the reports. And the conflict is the Italian media are going for this deal being a lot further on than what it actually is. Whereas the English media, the Ornsteins, and even Romano himself is saying, yes, United have a big interest in signing Sofyan Amrabat. He wants to come to Manchester United, but the deal is not as advanced as what some people are saying. So that's a big distinguishing factor here for me. So yes, he comes in. Yes, he really improves us. And yes, I think we absolutely should be signing him at that price of, what, 25 million euros for a guy of that quality, with that ability, with that tenacity. He is versatile. He is 26 years old, in the very, very peak of his career coming into. I think that's an absolutely brilliant price. But it's clear and it's obvious to me that Manchester United, we need to sell Fred or McTominay before we can do that deal. That seems to be the case. And it looks like Fred's going to go to Galatasary. It looks like McTominay might be going to West Ham. And that's really good for Manchester United. That's really good for Erik ten Hag. Because what we're doing there is going from players in the squad who are not good enough, who probably bring the levels down when they're on, to a player who certainly is good. And that's an upgrade for the squad, it's an upgrade for the team, and it gives you different options. We could have done with Amrabat last night. He would have helped us against Bellingham and Tchouaméni and Camavinga and Modric in midfield. He would have put some tackles in, he would have made up the distance, and he would have got closer to them. So I think it's a big, big difference. Who else have we got? Andrew says Casemiro was out of it, he had a bad day at the office. Yeah, look, I don't think he was brilliant last night. I mean, there was some good moments, but not his best performance by any stretch of the imagination. It comes up, he can be a lot better than that. Make no mistake about it. Innocent is saying, I think guys United played well against Real Madrid. It's just a matter of time we find the striker soon. Yeah, look, I think the striker helps us out so much in those big matches. Whenever we can't hold the ball, are we struggling to really play those line-breaking passes, get in behind their backline? If we have a genuine striker who holds the ball up and brings others into play, that's a different option. We won't always be able to get in behind opposition defences. And I feel like with Rashford, with Garnacho, probably with Antony as well, we are overly reliant on their pace getting in behind. Højlund, look, he's really quick, but he is strong. He can do that hold-up job. He isn't perfect at it, but he can do it. And he will only get better from here. And Ten Hag sees a mouldable player there, a player with ability, with potential, who can be something big in football. I think he really, really fancies selling Rasmus Hojlund. I really do. Rajat says Casemiro did not bad, but not okay. Yeah, that's what I'll go for. I think it's an okay performance from Casemiro. Nelbis, good to see you, man. Have I watched Madrid United? How are my impressions? Yeah, look, I watched the first half last night. I watched the second half today, so I've got a fair enough picture of how the match went down. I've seen some highlights, I've watched some analysis on it as well. I'm pretty happy with how United played. I think we could have been better in some areas. I think Onana had a really good debut in terms of playing out from the back. I feel like his shot stopping was good. I think there's more to come from this team. I think playing out from the back was really good, because when we got into midfield, we struggled because we didn't have the speed, we didn't have the tenacity in there to really beat that Madrid press. When Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Modric pressed us, whenever we saw Camavinga pushing in and inverting as well, they really crowded us out in that midfield. And I think one of the reasons why was Bruno Fernandes being on the right-hand side. Bruno is a player who, when he gets the ball, he will try to make something happen. It might not happen every time, but it only has to happen once in a match for us to have a clear goal-scoring opportunity. So I would have played Bruno in there. I think Rashford off the left, yeah, that would have made more sense. Obviously, no striker makes a big difference there as well. Ronnie is saying, what do you think of the striker before the end of next week? I think we get him this week. I really do. I think we're going to see, hopefully, another big go in tomorrow, I think, maybe over the weekend. And then maybe by Monday we get him. So maybe in the next couple of days. I think certainly within the next 7 days. And look, when we look at the reports coming out, United are confident of getting him ahead of the start of the Premier League. I would hope so, because we don't kick off in the Premier League for another 19 days. So I think we can get there. I think we need to get there with Hojlund, and we need to really push hard on this deal. And hopefully this PSG involvement is going to push that on. Hopefully it is. Now, we know Hojlund wants to come here, but we still have to do the deal. We still have to do that deal with Atalanta. Majority Leader says, when are we accepted to bid a second time for Rasmus Hojlund? So it probably comes in very soon. Manchester United set for another stage of face-to-face talks with Atalanta. That's coming from Fabrizio Romano. So we can take that to the bank. It's going to be this week. We probably make another bid then. So I would expect it this week. I think it's going to happen pretty soon. It needs to happen soon, and I hope that the PSG interest, the PSG involvement is going to really hurry United up, because I don't want to be sitting here next week talking about a bid going in for Hojlund. I want us to talk within the next week of Hojlund signing for United, holding up the jersey and taking the photos. That's what I want to see. Rajat says United can't keep playing Rashford at number 9. No, we can't. He's not a number 9. He's a good inside forward. He gets in behind, he scores goals, but he doesn't have that link-up play. He doesn't have the movement really to be a number 9, in my opinion. Innocent says if Maguire keeps playing with Onana, he will be good on the ball. Onana is a good coach at the back. Yeah, look, I feel like it helps Maguire knowing that he's got a guy sweeping up behind him. It means he's getting better balls into his feet. And look, I feel like he probably will improve this season, but I still think he should be sold. So I would like to see him sold. Dan says 1958 group said more protests if the Glazers try to stay longer than this season. Glazers out. Yes, absolutely, man. I hope we get I hope the sale comes quickly. Look, I really do. And the lack of noise, the lack of talk, it's bothering me. I cannot lie, guys. It really is getting to me. I'm impatient. I want to see this club sold. That's what I want more than anything. Andre says, Anthony and Sancho on the right, we're killing that defender. We just lacked the killer pass to finish them off. Yeah, look, we did. And I think United probably would have done better with Anthony at least on in that first half. In Camavinga back, give him someone to think about. When Bruno's on the right, he wants to come inside. He wants to run up and down the pitch. Put Anthony there, and I think we do better because it holds the position, it holds the width, it pins Camavinga back because he has to think about Anthony running in behind him. So that would have been a better option in my opinion. But look, I'm not Eric Ten Hag, I'm not the manager. That's just my opinion. Dan says, can't see another match being called off. If it takes, so be it. Yeah, look, if it's going to come down to it, I've no doubt that United fans will do it. I've no doubt that some protesting fans will do that. We've seen it in the past. It might happen again. Let me see as well. Andrew says Maguire was not too bad with Onana, but we need the goalkeeper to double Maguire. Yeah, look, I feel like Maguire was all right last night. He wasn't great. He wasn't anything special, but he was okay. But imagine a better centre back than Maguire playing with Onana behind him, and then you've got a really good option there as well. So look, it's a good thing for me. It really is, and I hope that we get to see more of it. I really, really do. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to get them in down below. Let me just double check as well. Some more stuff we wanted to go through. Let me see. Don't know why that's not working. Yeah, so I'm not gonna be able to put it in the chat. So we're gonna get talking here from some stuff that we went over last night in some detail, but maybe didn't get everything covered that we wanted to. Stefan says big protests coming from the 58. I hope so. And Rajat is right. Look, they don't care. There is a big element of that. They do not care, and that's something we've always said on the channel. That's something we've always believed, is that the Glazer family, they do not care, to the extent that it probably doesn't matter. Big T says getting games called off should be banned for life. You can't take away people's choice to go, like they just can't take away your choice to boycott. Yeah, look, I wouldn't advocate for it, but I think it could happen. Like, I really do. And look, we're going to see what happens. Clearly, the protests, they're not effective in driving the Glazer family out. It's good to put the message out there. It's good for fans to do what they can. But the only thing getting the Glazers out of Manchester United is going to be cold, hard cash. And that's what it's going to come down to. It really is going to come down to that above all else. And until they get a bid that they're 100% happy to accept, they're going to be here, in my opinion. Andrew says, Maguire having a race with Ten Hag. If he beats Ten Hag, he stays. He loses free. I don't know, man. I'd probably back Ten Hag to win that race. But yes, guys. So we're going to get talking on this. So this is still a developing story. So Dean Henderson going on loan to Nottingham Forest. I wanted a permanent sale. I really wanted to see Dean Henderson sold. What we're not seeing now is Dean Henderson maybe going on loan with an obligation to buy. It's still not great. We're putting off that payment for another year. It might be contingent on enough things that maybe he doesn't end up even signing for Nottingham Forest. So we have to be smart. We have to be cute with this, and I think we have to insist on a full sale, or at the very least insist that Dean Henderson must be bought by Nottingham Forest. There are no get out clauses. There are no get out of jail free cards. They have to buy him. If they want him, they have to buy him. They've already had him on loan. Let's see the guy at least be sold, because it's going to bring money in. It's going to be what we need. And I've been saying this for a long time. Ever since these rumours first came up, Dean Henderson maybe going on loan, I've been so against it, because we need to sell. We need to sell. Saudi says we should sell Fred to Galatasary to generate the fee. Yes, we should. And it looks like Fred is going to go to Galatasary. They seem most interested. They're the club putting the biggest pressure on United to sell. Fulham, they're still interested, make no doubt about it, but then they probably will not pay the money United are looking to. So hopefully Galatasaray can pay the money. Hopefully they do pay the money and we can sell Fred. I like Fred. I still think he's a good player. I still wouldn't mind keeping him. If we kept him, I wouldn't be annoyed. I think we should be selling McTominay first, but in my opinion, I would like to see both sold. I really would. Rosat says no more loan to buy, can't deal with it. No, absolutely, man. I really cannot. We don't want it. Like, we need money now. Why would we take a deal that gets rid of a player who we could sell for money and means that we're not going to be getting that money for another year? What is the point of that? There is no point whatsoever. It would just be another bad transfer mistake from Manchester United, and that's something that I just don't want to see. I really don't. I want to see United sell Dean Henderson, get £20 million, because that's what he's worth. And that's what we should be doing. We've got it for Elanga. We should be able to do it for Dean Henderson. That has to be Manchester United's main objective here. We need to go out and get Dean Henderson sold. In terms of other stuff, this McTominay one is an interesting one. £40 million. It seems like a lot. Now, West Ham, they've got a lot of money. We know this for a fact. Daniel says, what do you think is the biggest mistake United's academy have ever made? Whether it's getting rid of a talent or keeping a waste of space in. It's a good question. Honestly, it's always going to come down to Pogba. It always is. And look, we can point at Ravel Morrison not fulfilling the potential that he had. We can point at other stuff as well. But I will say that Paul Pogba will always be one of the biggest mistakes in Manchester United history. We let this guy go for free, and we bought him back for £90 million. So how that ever could be a good deal for United, how that ever could be anything but the worst bit of business United have ever done, I don't know. I just don't think it can. Like, I think that is as bad as it gets for Manchester United. And look, that just typifies everything wrong with this club and what has been wrong for the longest time. It really, really does. Andrew says, I wonder if the shirt sales are doing well or stifling the sales. Glazers must go. The 1958, we were behind you guys. Absolutely. And yeah, look, I hope that the 58 work. I hope that they help play their part in getting rid of the Glazer family. And that's what we're going to need them to do. Evans is saying we need Rasmus in as soon as possible. Yes, we do. We seriously need Rasmus Hojlund in this club. And look, do I think he's going to come in here, score 30 goals next season? Probably not. Do I think he comes in and makes us better? Yes, I absolutely do. It gives us that focal point. It gives us that striker. It gives us that goal scorer that we desperately need in the team. So until that happens, we need to keep on going here. Kieran says, beside the financial reasons, give us the football failures of the academy. Yeah, look, there's a lot of them. One of the big things is United just not having money to put into the overall training facilities. They were falling to pieces. We had Jude Bellingham at 16 years old coming to Carrington with his dad, got a personal tour by Sir Alex Ferguson and turned Manchester United down. That never happened in the past. As well as that, United, a lot of the players who have played for United, their sons have been going to Manchester City. Darren Fletcher is Manchester United's technical director, and we have just bought his two sons from Manchester City. the technical director of this football club sent his children to go and play for Manchester City over the club that he was running. That, if anything, shows just how incompetent and how bad and how mismanaged this football club has been for the longest time. Daniel says, what do you think of the 58? Look, I like the 58. I like everything they stand for. I like what they're doing. I love the protests. And I'm really behind it. There are bits of it that I don't like. I really don't like the way that they have, and the members of the 58 seem to have a problem with what they deem as internet fans. Anyone who watches fan channels, anyone who makes videos on United, anybody who isn't from Manchester itself. There is elements of that within the United supporters. And look, it's just as bad going the other way. We do have people online calling people who go to the match top reds to make as an insult, and that's something that needs to be gone. A United fan is a United fan. If you follow United, you are every bit as much a United fan as anybody else. That's my opinion. That's what it's always been. Daniel says, I think Lingard's been a big failure, never reached the potential he had. Yeah, but look, that's more individual. That's not the academy's fault. That's more the fault of Lingard himself as a player, not being fit, not taking it seriously, and being a bit of a joker and never getting to where he should have been in the game. Ronnie says, hi, do you think if we get Hojlund and get an older, more experienced striker coming in temporarily? I think so. I do think so. I really, I think a younger striker and an older striker makes a lot of sense. Let me see. Lingard overrated. He was okay. Yeah, look, he had a couple of good. He had one one purple patch for a couple of months, was absolutely brilliant. Big T says, do you like the division the 58 causes in the fan base? No, I don't. And look, that I kind of just touched on that. A United fan is a United fan. They would have people within the 58 who support the 58 and go to the protest and everything. They would have themselves put above people who watch from home, people who watch around the world. To me, a United fan is a United fan. And look, there's millions of people around the world get up at 3 in the morning when they have work the next day to go and sit down and watch Manchester United play in a Carabao Cup match in the third round against Burton Albion because they love the club. So you can't tell me those people don't support the club. You can't tell me those people are not proper fans. Their dedication is every bit as much. Kerwin says, you might be right about Fletcher's sons. I might be reaching, sorry. Yeah, look, it's one of those things. It's just my opinion. And look, there's plenty of United players who've sent their children to Manchester City. There are plenty of players who have done that. Van Persie's son went there. I believe I'm right in saying that a lot. There was others. Let me just double check, because this was a thing a couple of years ago. Now I think it's got better. Make no mistake about it. The United's academy has got better, but I don't think that it's 100% perfect yet. So let me just check this here. I will check this here. Rajat says Lingard not focused on anything and don't know too much about the 58. Look, the 58, those are the guys who do the protests, and look, they do really good. They do good work. But it's kind of the attitude. Let me just check this here. Let me see. Lingard was focused on socials. Yeah, look, Lingard's thing was always focused. It really was on the socials and everything else. That's the problem. Look, we have this here. Carwin says they go there for footballing reasons, no doubt. Yeah, but United should be ahead of City in that regard. We should be ahead of City regardless, because look, City are a super team. They've got super resources, but United had such a head start on Manchester City, and due to like all this financial mismanagement, we managed to blow that gap. And look, everything is a lot better there. It probably is, but United should be better. So, look, this came in. Let me just double check. So, Darren Fletcher's twin boys were there. Andy Cole's lad was at the Man City Academy. Apparently, one of Rooney's sons was there at one time as well. This is coming in the Express, like, so. I don't know. Big T says, I don't like the phrase "trade red." Red is a red, and we're supposed to be united. Absolutely, and look, that's one of the things that I will say. And the Glazer family, one of the big reasons they've managed to stay in power for so long is they have managed to divide this fan base over and over again. And this fan base fights amongst itself. It's the same as any fan base. But the problem was that what United needed to do is really get behind the Glazers out movement. And I feel like there's a bit of a negligence, like they were going after United stand because they got given a free kit by Adidas and one of the presenters wore it on a show. Like, that's just kind of ridiculous to me. It's a free kit. It's from Adidas. It's not like United are making money off it. And it's not like people who watch United stand haven't already seen this kit. It's not like a free bit of advertising, guys. It really isn't. Kerwin says, I agree. It's only a matter of fact that we are not better. Yeah, look, we know why we're not better. We know why we're not better. That's because of the way we've been run for the last 18 years. That's why we're not better. Manchester United, whenever City got super rich, whenever they got that money, United won a couple more league titles. Man City in 2010 had the likes of Craig Bellamy in their team. They had Shea Given. They had Richard Dunn. They had... It was not a great team. Within 2 years, they managed to go on and win a Premier League because United were not improving at that time. We were relying on an old, aging squad, and City caught up with us. And ever since then, we haven't been able to catch up with them since. And look, it's not like we haven't spent the money. That would be an absolute lie, because United have spent a lot of money. Make no mistake about it. But it's how they've been spending the money. It's who's been spending the money. And it's why they've been spending the money in the first place. If we went and got a manager, the exact players that he wanted, without looking at shirt sales, without looking at name values, without looking at anything like that, it would be a lot better for Manchester United. It really and truly would. And that's something I've believed for a very, very long time. And as bad as the Glazers are, they haven't run this club on a day-to-day basis. They really haven't. Andrew says the presenter last night have signed shirts to give fans. How lucky were those? Yeah, look, I don't get how anybody could hate against that. I really don't. Like, I seriously don't know how anybody can hate against giving out free shirts, signed shirts. Like, I don't know. I really don't get it. Like, you can have a problem with United Stand as an organisation. You can have a problem with me as someone who does it, who does YouTube, and you can have a disagreement. Look, that's the way football is, but I don't get the harm in it. I don't know why people who do view themselves as better fans than other United fans, people who think that they are above other Manchester United fans, think that's better. And in the same hand, I don't like how a lot of match-going fans are presented to be Radcliffe fans, or how they're presented to be Manchester for Manchester, and that's it, because that's not the way it is. Because people who go to the matches go from all around. There will be people coming from Scotland, from London, from Newcastle, from Liverpool. Plenty of Irish people will be going week in, week out to Old Trafford. So it is one of those things. It's like, yes, the stigma has been there for a long time. I just hope that it's going to be better in the future. Let me see. Kerwin says we probably get operating at 5% of our true potential. I would say we're operating at a higher level. I would say genuinely we are probably operating at about 70%. Getting rid of the Glazer family will push us up a lot. It will make a huge difference to how this team's run. Dan says they inherited the club from there and still won't go one off for billion suckers. It's a pure greed. It is just pure greed at this point, and it's nothing else but greed. It has always been greed, and it always will be greed. That is the biggest motivator behind them. It is money orientated, and it's unfortunate. It's been going on for years upon years upon years, and until they're gone, I always do feel like United will not be able to operate at full capacity. And look, it's not that United are sitting at 5%. Just like, I would disagree with what Kerwin had said, because I do think we're trying, and I think people within the club are trying, but they're doing this with one arm behind their back the entire time. And they're going up against Man City, who are going full tilt at it every single day, trying to be the biggest, most dominant club in football. That's the difference here. You know, we're going up against a superpower, and we are fighting with an arm behind our back. It's just not going to work. We need to make it a fair fight, and the way we do that, first and foremost, is taking the Glazer family out of the equation. Dan says, you wear a shirt to be proud of the badge, nothing else to be matter. Absolutely not, man. Like, it really shouldn't. If you're a United fan, you're a United fan, and you know, make no mistake about that, Big T. Andrew says as well, but anyway, we are fans from around the world. We love United. It's like a religion among us. So Glazers out is a mantra right now. It should be. Yeah, absolutely. And look, that's what I will say. Getting the Glazers out is bigger and more important than any individual fan. It's bigger and more important than point scoring on Twitter or having a rant about people sitting on the United stand, watching it at home, or watching the match from home. It's nothing to do with that. It really isn't. And I don't know if other fan bases are like this, if this is a United problem, but it is infuriating. It really is. And it's been this way for a long time, guys. It really, really has, and hopefully it's going to get better in the future. I really hope it does, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. I really wouldn't. But a united fan base will be more powerful than a divided fan base every single day of the week. Cherry is saying, hello, I need the update on Manu's injury and latest about Hojlund's transfer deal. Okay, so first and foremost on Kobe Manu, we don't have anything official in terms of actual diagnosis, in terms of actual recoveries and stuff. We don't have any information. What we can tell you is Kobe Manu left the stadium last night, and he left the stadium on crutches wearing a medical boot. Whether it's precaution, whether it's an actual injury, we're going to have to wait and find out. Erik ten Hag said himself, they won't know for a couple of days until the swelling goes down, until the inflammation goes down. Then they can evaluate what's actually happened to him. In terms of Højlund, so PSG have agreed terms with Rasmus Hojlund in the sense that they have agreed a wage and they've agreed to match what United would offer. But PSG are going to lose out on this deal for two reasons. Number one, why they're going to lose out on this deal is because of the simple fact Rasmus Hojlund wants to join Manchester United. The second reason they're going to lose out, and this is also important, they put a final bid down which is less than what Manchester United have offered in the first place. So they're going to lose out. Make no mistake about it. Kerwin says, yeah, I'm definitely wrong. I had off-field departments in my head when calculated, maybe 60%. Yeah, look, the off-field departments, yeah, you can definitely count them like 5% because that needs to really, really, really get going. It does. And that's the biggest thing. That's more, the problems off the pitch are bigger than the problems on the pitch. Not that what's happening on the football pitch every week is perfect. It isn't. But it really can get better upstairs. And getting better upstairs is going to help United more than just getting good on the pitch. Because, yes, we can have a good team, but until we have a good leadership from the top to the bottom that wants to win, who will be ruthless, who will try to be ambitious, it's going to be difficult for us. It really is. Dan says, imagine when they'll be gone, I'll be drunk for days. Absolutely, man. Andrew as well saying, I think Christian Eriksen, as I said, a lot this season, he doesn't have the pace. No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. And he was caught out a lot of times last season playing deep, and it's just not his role. He just doesn't have the tenacity. He doesn't have the energy, doesn't have the legs to get up and down, make the tackles he needs to. It's not his fault, but he just doesn't have that in him. And that's ultimately what I think cost United last night. It really is. So, with that in mind, guys, I'm going to drop off this stream now. I'm actually going to head to the gym for a bit. So, I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, 7:30. Let's hope we have a positive day tomorrow. Have a good Friday, guys. Let's hope we get to see Manchester United hopefully get closer to signing Rasmus Hojlund. Just in terms of what Dan is saying as well, yes, agree, Andre Eriksen needs to be rotated. Yeah, he does. I think a bench option this season is probably his level. Alright guys, I think the laptop's overheating as well. It's really slow tonight, so I'm going to drop off here, going to go to the gym. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good Friday, and see you all tomorrow, same time, 7:30. Thanks very much for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it, as always.